Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Charlotte Ashmon. Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything educational and inspirational. Now, in this video, we'll be helping students to prep for the PEP ability test. And specifically, we're going to be looking at the Ministry of Education's PEP bootcamp paper. So we'll be going through the questions. Our strategy is to show students the answers and then to ask them to explain why we have selected the answers that we have selected. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. We're going to be going through the PEP camp paper. All right, thank you, Tamara Chiney Nelson. You're first on. All right, so let us just pull up that paper and let's get going. All right, so we're going to start at question number 11. So we're starting at question number 11. And the question says, which is the most important feature of a mountain? And it is more than 600 meters high. Now, here's my question. Here's my question. Yes, Merlin, you're the second person on. Awesome. Here's my question, guys. Why have I selected it is more than 600 meters high for the answer? Why? Why not its steep slopes, its high summits, it has many trees? Why not? I want someone to explain that for me. So look at the question properly. Which is the most important feature of a mountain? The most important. So, I mean, why not its steep slope? What about its high summit? It has many trees. Why not? Okay, I'm not seeing anybody giving me an explanation for, its steep slopes, its high summits, it has many trees. Why couldn't I select those? All right, guys. Let me see. All right, no, hold on, guys. Hold on a second. Yes, you can have trees on mountains. Yes, some mountains have very steep slopes. Yes, some mountains have high summit. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. When you see a question that talks about an essential part, most important feature, you're going to look for something that it's an absolute necessity, right? So that's what you're looking for. So yes, while you have steep slopes, you have high summits, and some mountains they do have many trees. Something that is absolutely essential for a mountain to be a mountain is that it must be more than 600 meters high. So that is absolutely necessary. So if it is not more than 600 meters high, then it is not a mountain. All right, so that is why that is the answer, right? It has to be more than 600 meters high to be classified as a mountain, right? Okay. All right, let's look at the next question. It says, which is an essential feature of a river? Now, when we say essential, we mean we can't do without that. That has to be there. So, for example, a river can have a long body of water. Some rivers, they do have a narrow body of water. Some rivers flow in a narrow valley. Yeah, that's true. But for a river to be a river, it has to have a flowing body of fresh water. So that is absolutely essential. So guys, remember now, when you are looking at an essential feature, you're going to look at all the answer choices, and then you're going to choose the one that I mean, is absolutely necessary. It's an absolute necessity. So if it is going to be a river, it must have a flowing body of fresh water. That's what makes it a river. All right. Let's look at the next question. All right, let's look at question number 13. Which feature must all maps have? All maps. Now, if you're going to classify a map or as a map, it must have a title, right? Because guess what, guys? It doesn't necessarily have to have rivers or roads or plains, but maps must have a title. You know, there are some countries, you know, you have no rivers. Even in the Caribbean, you have countries that they are without rivers. There are some places that are without roads, and it depends on the type of map, right? So not all maps will have roads or plains or rivers, but they will have titles. Okay? So that's the answer for that. All right, which is an essential feature of a forest. Now, if it is a forest, doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna have birds, doesn't mean that it's gonna have lizards, doesn't mean it's gonna have flatland. But guess what? To be a forest, it must have trees. Trees, that's an absolute necessity, trees. All right, now let's look at the next question. It says, which is the most important feature of a plane? All right, so the most important feature is that it is a flat land. It is a flat land. That is the most important feature, is that it is a flat land. All right, let's look at some other types of questions. All right, one of the things that we spent a lot of time looking at is we looked a lot at sequencing. So I'm expecting that my students will be really great at sequencing. And let's look at the pictures labeled A, B, C, and D, and then we're going to answer the questions. Now, what you need to do, students, you need to look at the pictures and try to understand what is happening. So when you look at picture A, what is really happening in picture A? Look at picture B. What's happening over here? Look at picture C. What is happening over here? And look at picture D. What is really happening in picture D? All right, instead of me just chatting away, I am going to take some answers on Facebook and YouTube. I want you guys to tell me what is happening in picture A. That's what I want to know. What is happening over in picture A? That's all I want. What is happening in picture A? Picture A. Come on, guys. Let me make it big. I'm going to take myself from the screen. There you go. What is happening in picture A? What is picture A showing you? All right, I'm not seeing anybody posting anything. What about picture B? What is picture B saying? All right, if you know what picture B is saying, write it. So put B and write what it is, what's happening. Picture C, what is happening in picture C, and what is happening in picture D. All right, so you're saying C is a landslide. Okay, awesome. C looks like a landslide to me. A, all right, so C looks like a landslide. And you're saying in picture A, there are mountains. Picture A, there's a mountain. Yes, Melissa, Miss Melissa, you are on a roll. I don't know what your mommy is feeding you, but you're on a roll. It's contour farming. Yep. Looks like a hill with steps. Exactly, Merlin Fraser. Yeah, that's what contour farming is. It's a hill with steps. Very good. Clouds and mountains, a landscape. So this looks like clouds and mountains. Okay. The clouds are over the plateau. Well, I don't know if it's a, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Terracing, yeah. Miss Picture A is a terrace. That's spelled wrong, but yeah. Melissa, they are terracing, miss. Yeah, all right. So picture A looks like terracing, yeah. Terrace farming. It's a technique that prevents soil erosion, all right. And this looks like clouds forming over the land. Picture C looks like a landslide, and picture D looks like precipitation, like it's raining. Okay, now your job as a student is to tell me what comes first, second, third, fourth. So here's the first thing, guys. You see what we just did? That's what you need to do when you get in the exam. If you get something like this, you need to figure it out. Don't bother guess, guys. Please, may I beg you, don't bother to guess first. Try to figure out what is happening, and then you can, once you figure out what is happening in each picture, then you can arrange them in the sequence. All right. So you know that A looks like terracing, terrace farming. B looks like clouds are formed. C looks like a landslide. And D looks like it's raining. All right. So I want you to tell me the sequence. What's the sequence? What is the sequence, guys? What is the sequence? What is the sequence? All right, so I see some people, Kerry and Parkinson is saying BADC. So you're saying clouds are forming, then they start terracing, then it starts raining, and then there is a landslide. I don't think so. Let me see what Melissa Mary is saying. Melissa says D, starts raining, then C, there is a landslide, then B, clouds are forming, and then A. Melissa, you're off on that one. All right, May. B, clouds are forming. A, they're terracing. D, it's raining. C, landslide. All right, I don't agree with your options, right? Let me tell you what I think. I think clouds are forming. Then it begins to rain after the clouds are formed, begins to rain. And then when it starts raining, I believe that there is a landslide, because remember now, landslides are something that will happen when it rains a lot. All right, so I think it's B, then D, then C, there's a landslide. And then I think the remedial action where they start to terrace comes last. So it's B, then D, then C, then A. So after the landslide, the people got wise and said, you know what? We are going to do terracing farming. So my option would be B, clouds are forming. D, starts to rain. C, there is a landslide. And then A, people take action when they realize that there was a landslide. So they don't want that to happen again. So they do terracing. Okay, that is my choice. Okay, let's look at question 16. All right, I like this sequence. It says, look carefully at the compass and answer question 17. Which is next in the sequence? Northeast, southeast, southwest. Which comes next in the sequence? So you have northeast, which is here. Then you have southeast, which is here. Then you have southwest, which is here. So what comes next? I like this question. I like this question. So it's northwest. Why isn't it west north? So it's northeast, right? And then notice it is southeast. So it's not east south. So it's northeast and then it's southeast, then it's southwest, then it's northwest. Notice it's named from north and south. So you have northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. Okay, so you don't have west north or east north. You have northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. All right, look at the table and answer question. I'm going to skip that one. All right, now read the extract below and answer question 19. It says, this contract is made on the 19th day of August in the year 1873 between Patrick Long and Raj Patel. Mr. Long will provide food, clothing, and shelter, and in return, Mr. Patel will work on the sugar plantation. Which of the following is the best meaning for the contract shown? All right, so the answer for that is an agreement between two persons. All right, so notice this is the contract. It's made on the 19th day of August in the year 1873 between, this is what is suggesting that it's between, that it's for two persons, between Patrick Long and Raj Patel. Oh, by the way, guys, here's a great question. Who do you think is the plantation owner, and who do you think is the indentured servant in this example? Is Patrick Long the indentured servant, or is it Raj Patel? This is a good question. So I'm asking, this is not on the paper though. Who do you think is the owner of the plantation, and who do you think is the indentured servant? So the contract is between Patrick Long and Raj Patel. So if you think Raj Patel is the owner, put owner Raj Patel. If you think Long is the owner, you have to put, but I don't know what you're saying. I don't see you put, Kerry. So you're saying Raj Patel is the servant. Why do you think that Raj, I agree with you, Kerry, but tell me, why do you think Raj Patel is the servant? And I want you to also tell me, where do you think Raj Patel is from? Why is Raj Patel the servant, and where is Raj Patel from? And this is a great question, because if you did your social studies stuff, you could tell. So this is an aside. Who know? All right. So Georgia Gordon is saying the owner name came first. Patrick Long. And so you're saying Raj Patel is a servant. I agree with that. Now, where is I tell you, Melissa, I don't know what mommy is feeding you, but you're on a roll these days. Yeah. So Raj is from India. Yeah, because the name suggests that Raj is from India, right? And then, guys, I mean, if you're in my social studies class, you would know that indentured servants came from China and India, right? Oh, and from the context clue too, it says Mr. Long will provide food, clothing, and shelter. So it couldn't be the servant providing food, clothing, and shelter. And in return, Mr. Patel will work on the sugar plantation. So that is from what we call context clue. Yeah. All right. So let's look at another let's look at another question. So all of that, guys, is inferred, right? Well, actually, the paragraph tells you that Mr. Long is the plantation owner because he's providing the food. Yeah, man, that's inferred. And Mr. Patel will work on the sugar plantation. Yeah. So the owner would not be working on the sugar plantation. It would be the servants, right? The indentured servants. All right, let's move on. It says crop over started in Barbados during slavery to mark the end of the sugar crop. It is celebrated every year from June to August. The celebration includes a parade with music and dancing. There are many private and public events. Which term best describes the activities in the paragraph? Yeah, and it is festival, right? Why isn't it a party or a parade? Why are we saying it's a festival? Why are we saying that it is a festival? I want somebody to tell me, why are we saying that it is a festival? Why am I saying that a festival best describes what is presented in the paragraph? All right, Shauna Wisdom says, put me up, but you need to tell me the answer. Yeah, we know it's festival because I've already selected festival. But you're saying because it celebrates culture, true, but that's not the answer I'm looking for. All right, so notice this, guys. To answer this question, you need to understand what is a festival, what is a fair, what is a party, what is a parade. All right, so guys, what is a festival? What's the definition for a festival? All right, so we look at a festival and okay, let me see the answers that you guys are providing. What's a festival? All right, so because it includes somebody said Tamara Channing Nelson, because it includes dance and music and it celebrates every year. Yes, it's celebrated every year. And you're saying because it says that it celebrates every June to August and only festivals celebrate for so long at a time. Kerry K says because it says that it's oh sorry. Let's go back to Kerry K. Well, Kerry, okay. Kerry, what did you say? Because it says that it celebrates every June to August and only festivals celebrate for so long at a time. All right, so a festival is an annual celebration, not necessarily, but one of the things that you will know, it's a festival really is a day or a period of celebration, right? Or another definition talks about an organized series of concert plays or films, and it's usually held annually and in the same place. All right, so we know that a fair. What is a fair? When you say you're going to a fair, you don't go. I've never heard of a fair being kept from June to August. So we know that it's not a fair. Why is it not a fair? What is a fair? All right, somebody's asking to put me up. Rabina Mackenzie. A festival is an annual celebration. Yeah, a festival is a celebration that includes music, feasting, and food, and it's celebrated every year. Guys, watch your English, okay? All right, so a fair, yeah, like a fun day. All right, so it's not a fair, it's not a party, and a party doesn't go on for days and days and days. And it's not a parade because a parade doesn't go on either for days and days and days. it is a festival because a festival sometimes lasts for long periods of time, held every year, that kind of a thing. So the characteristic of a festival makes the definition apt. All right, that's what makes it a festival. When you look at the definition, it's celebrated every year from June to August, a long period of time. And then now, notice parades are included in it. You have music, you have dances, and you have private events, public events. So right away you can see that parading or parades are part of this event. And parades are sometimes part of festivals, right? Okay, so it's not a party, it's not a fair, it's a festival. Now, when Leroy Chang arrived in Jamaica, he was best described as an immigrant. Now, guys, why wasn't he described as an immigration officer? That's the question. Why is immigration officer not correct? When Leroy Chang arrived in Jamaica, he was best described as an immigrant. Why? Melissa, see, I put you up there. Rika, I put you up. Merlene Fraser, I put you up. All right. So when Leroy Chang arrived in Jamaica, he was best described as an immigrant. Why was he best described as an immigrant? Why was he best described as an immigrant? All right. So when he arrived in Jamaica, Leroy Chan, he was best described. Now, he could not be an immigration officer because, like Melissa says, an immigration officer overlooks the immigrants coming into the country, and Leroy Chang cannot be that. All right, so Leroy was arriving into the country. All right, so guys, because we know the definition of an immigrant, it's a person who was come into a foreign country in order to live there. So we know that he's arriving in Jamaica to live there, so he is going to be best described as an immigrant. All right, I love these so much. Let's look at artificial language and we can close out and you guys can go to bed. Now, artificial language is a fun way to use a set of letters or for an invented language to determine the meaning of other words in the language. The words in bold come from the language spoken on a newly discovered planet. Look at the meaning of each word and answer question 22. All right, so parish capital is Bafi, Ent. Parish hall is Bafi, Filk. Capital library is Hent, Zank, Zanif. Parish church is Bafi, Zeji. Now, right away, guys, you notice Bafi is repeated 3 times. And every time you see Bafi repeated, it's parish. Parish something. Parish capital, Bafe Hent. Parish hall, Bafe Filk. So right away we see it's Bafe again. Parish church, Bafe Zeji. All right, so right away we know that parish is Bafe. Now, capital library. They give us a library in this example. Capital is Hent Zanif, right? Now, Hent would be capital and library would be Zanif. So if we're looking for parish library, because we know that parish is Bafe and we know that library is Zanif, then parish library would be Bafe Zanif. All right, guys, we have done almost half an hour more of work. I'm going to ask that you go to bed and get a great night's sleep. Sleep is really good for you. And tomorrow we do it all over again. Remember, at 5 o'clock, we're going to be on Zoom. Between 5 and 6 o'clock, we have an ability test class on Zoom. And I am inviting persons to attend. Guys, again, I want to just tell you about my resources. This is my latest work. It's the PEP mock exam booklet. And a number of schools are using these to test where students are. What I've done is just simulates the real exam. So I have 40 questions here, 20 verbal, 20 quantitative. It's 750. And this book comes with a coupon inside. You get a $2,000 coupon. So you spend $750 for the book, you get a $2,000 coupon, and I'm going to tell you what that's for. The coupon is for my private class on a Saturday morning. So yes, guys, you pay that class you don't have to pay to come. Once you have these booklets, and some of the booklets are done as apps, so you can download them from the Google Play Store. So once you have the booklet or the app, you can come to the class on a Saturday totally free. It's from 8 to 8:45. Now, guys, remember my evening class from 5 to 6 o'clock. You just need to have this book, and you can come to the class. All right. And those classes are $2,000 for the month if you can afford to pay. If you cannot afford to pay, just come for free. And I need to let persons know that I'm going to start require students to register on the Learning Hub, because what I'm going to start doing is to say to you guys, I want you to take 100 questions today so you can get the practice, and I'm assured that you're getting the practice. On a Monday and Wednesday, I have a grade 6 social studies class. Once you have this book, you can come to that class for free. Again, the class is $2,000 if you can afford it. If you cannot afford it, you just come to the class free of cost, no problem. I'm gonna start some performance task classes. So I want grades 4 and 5 students to get this book, the performance task workbook, because once you have this book, you can join my performance task class, and I'll give you more information. You can check our Facebook page, Learning Hub JA, or our PEP page for information on our performance task class. So I'm going to be helping students to get ready for their performance task exam in June. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again in our next video. Goodbye.